continue a bad policy.
You mentioned having more people put skin in the game in order to pay for the education policy. That sounds like a tax on people who are not making over $500,000, but something in addition. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, that's what I said, that the first step, and I think the most readily available step, is revenue from people who have done well, 500,000 and above households. But I said very specifically there, future steps will include cost savings, starting with DOE, healthcare reform, healthcare for the public sector, pension reform. These are things we're going to work on for a while. It's not going to be one jump. But I think it is absolutely essential, if we're going to talk about those kind of changes, that we show working people and middle-class people in this city that we're asking those who have done the best to lead the action.
Who are the others who are skin in the game?
Well,
who are those?
But that's, as I just described.
We know the people above 500,
but I'm saying, one, it comes down to the city government itself finding those savings in the DOE and other agencies, right. And then it comes down to the municipal workforce working with the municipal workforce over time. We're going to have to find some savings on those other fronts.
Over the last number of years, the mayor, every time there was a budget, the mayor and the speaker came out in front of the cameras and said absolutely no taxes. That would be bad for New York City. Was this a mistake? Was their approach over the last several years with respect to the budget wrong?
If he ultimately took us in the wrong direction on early childhood education, and you heard what China's doing, what India's doing, you see what's happening around the country, if his program took us in the wrong direction early childhood, of course it was a mistake. And he either needed to find that revenue within his existing capacity, or he needed to be bold enough to say, we've got to attend to this, and we're going to ask folks who've done well to help us. And he would have had tremendous legitimacy in doing that. So I think the mayor didn't fulfill his responsibility to our children, or else he would have gotten us to a greater focus on early childhood.
And the speaker as well?
Of course.
How would you compare
early childhood education, and Quinn talked about universal pre-K a number of years ago. So on one hand, do you have to kind of give credit to her?
I'm not against saying that there are other people in public life in the city who understand how important need this is, but you got to do something about it. You can't just talk about it, and you can't do it incrementally. The mayor a week ago came out with a new pilot program, EduCare. It's a good model. They're going to do it in one school in Brownsville, and then he talked about taking 4,000 pre-K seats and moving them from part-time to full-time. That's good. But you hear what the demand is. We've got 50,000 kids who should be getting full-time right now who aren't. So I'm glad that the 4,000 more are going to get it, but that's not going to frame our economic future. So give credit to anyone who does anything to improve early childhood education or extended learning time. But you can't do half measures. You have to really do it right. And our competitors are doing it right. They're not doing little dribs and drabs. They're doing the real thing. And I don't think the mayor or the speaker have done that.
Do you fear that any people who would be hit by your surcharge would leave New York City because of it? Or because of general the economic climate here?
I think there is a real question, which I've not seen anyone on either side of the debate provide dispositive evidence on. I think I've heard this from the mayor. I've heard it from other people, the concern that folks might leave. But in the absence of evidence, it's a hard debate to have. What I'm talking about here for someone making over $1 million, the impact is about $2,000. I don't think, even as a marginal increase, that's going to cause people to leave. By the way, the rate I'm talking about is less than the rate the mayor put into place after 9/11. It's less than the rate the state had, the additions the state did with 2009 to 2011. It's a very marginal impact on tax rate that makes a very big difference for our schools. And look, I've also met a lot of upper income taxpayers who say, you know what, I want to move this city forward, I want to move this country forward. If they decide to ask more of me, I don't have a problem with it. I've met plenty of folks who say that too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.